guys, it's Beverly. Well, I'm trying out another pair of glasses. We'll see how they go. These are bifocals. So I love the distance. I love the close-up, but I'm having, to get used to them. So we'll see how they do. Okay, I wanted to come on here and tell you a little bit about the craft show I did yesterday. And of course, I'll be inserting some pictures in this video. And it was fun. I didn't do as good as I normally do, but it was cute. There was a Easter bunny. There was some elementary school kids singing and dancing, and a lot of families and stuff like that. And it was good to, see the younger generation, because I'm a senior. But anyway, I wanted to come on and show you this scarf that I'm making. I love this scarf. If you guys can see it. It has braids, but these are just double crochets. And I'm making it in Premier Puzzle. This yarn is discontinued. This colorway is Jinga. And it was in my Aberdeen Yarn Company mystery box. And you can't get this. Maybe, like on eBay, or pay a high price on Amazon or something like that. But it's not available at Walmart. It's not available at the Premier website. But I think it's enough to make a scarf. The woman that did this pattern initially, back in 2018, there's the front, and then there's the back. We don't want to say bad stuff about other crocheters, but I'm kind of disappointed in her. I'm not going to give her a name. But I really like this pattern. The person that made this, she used a busy yarn like this for her tutorial. And when she wrote out the pattern, if she would have just added a little bit more punctuation to the written pattern, she would have made a lot more people happy. Now, this would be considered an advanced pattern. Now, the reason I'm not having any issues with it is because I've done a lot of cables in crochet. If you remember my owl hats, I do cables there. If you remember my fingerless gloves, I have owls on them. And that has helped me in this knowledge of how to do these cables. Because basically what you're doing is, it's okay when you're on the front side, but when you're on the back side, you have to do your work backwards. And a little more punctuation, because like her comments on the video and her comments on the pattern on her blog, they're very negative because people can't figure this out. But I just wanted to show you this pattern. If you're interested in making this, let me know, and I can make a private video. Or, I'm not really sure what I should do. If I change just one thing about the pattern, does that make it okay for me to use it and create a tutorial? I don't know. This is someone else's work. It would be very easy to do one thing different. It's beautiful. I love this. And it's perfect for, some variegated yarn. And even though it's variegated, you can see that the pattern is showing up. So you guys tell me what I should do. And I wanted to share that. Now, I'm still working on my blanket here. I'm almost done. I love this blanket, you guys. It's so squishy. And it's made with the Red Heart ombre. You know, Red Heart Super Saver ombre. And you know it comes in those beautiful colors. This is the gray version where you get the, you know, the gray and the blacks, and not really black, but different shades of gray. And then it comes in the teal, like this one, and it comes in a pink one and purple one, and all different. And so that's what I'm making with this. Now this pattern here is a premier pattern, the Textured Wave Throw, and they're saying it's an intermediate pattern. What makes it an intermediate pattern, I believe, is the fact that they don't tell you every single movement. Like you skip certain stitches, but it doesn't say to skip it. It just assumes that you're gonna know. So if you guys want a tutorial on this, I love it. It's just gorgeous. Let me see if I can show it close up to you. But it's, and let's see, yeah, that's the front side of it. See, if I hold it back better, you can see it. But it's got a lot of interest. When you're making it, I can do it and watch TV. But it's interesting and challenging for me. I'm enjoying making it. It's not something that's just straight and boring. I really do love it. It's a 2-row repeat. And I didn't measure it, but you can see it's not really big yet. I could probably put 3 skeins of this. Now, this premier pattern, Textured Wave Throw, which I'll link below, calls for using the Couture Home, which is, I believe, a 5 or 6. And it says to use a 12mm crochet hook. But what I did was, I've got to count how many chains I did. So I did it in worsted weight, and I'm using an eye hook. So you can see it's just gorgeous. I love it. I just got all kinds of good things to say about it. And if you would like a tutorial, let me know. It's a free pattern from Premier. Okay, now, you know how we are. We just can never stop looking for patterns. Let's see. Oh, okay. I just got a text message and it popped up on my screen. So here's some patterns that I want to make. So I saw these and I thought, I want to make this. Now this pattern here is called the Diagonal Crochet Blanket. Diagonal Crochet Blanket. And they're using the Premier Yarn Bloom. And the blanket is 3 different sizes. Yeah, so you can make 3 different sizes of the blanket. And it has a puff stitch. So I haven't started to make it yet, but it's using a half double crochet, 2 together. So that's basically it. And then you do back loop. So it's half double crochets. And you could probably color control it if you use that bloom. But I think you can just use any yarn that you want, and it would make a nice throw. Now, let's see. Oh, I know what it says. You start with a chain of 4. And then you could make the blanket 28 by 28, or 36 by 36, or 48 by 48. And it's almost like a corner to corner. But if you're bored making corner to corner, maybe you would just do this one. So I haven't tried it, but I just thought it was interesting. And you could use any kind of yarn, and count how many, you know, rows they have before they put the bloom in, or what color that is, and use your own variegated or non-variegated, or you can make it in any kind you want, but you can make a small, medium, or I guess a larger blanket. And I just thought this would be cool to try. Next, this one here from Premier. It's just coincidence they're from Premier, because I got some other ones that's not. Now this is 40 by 48, and it's called the Split Shells Throw. Now you can't see it real good because it's done with that retro velvet, but again, and they use a K-hook. Again, you could use a 4-ply yarn, and the shell stitch they're using is 2 doubles chain 1, 2 doubles, and that's a nice little shell in 1 stitch. So what you could do is, it says here, you know, because the retro velvet is like a 5 or a 6, and you could just chain. It says multiples of 6 plus 1 plus 2, and the 2 is for the turning chain. And you could just chain until you thought you got the blanket long enough. And remember sometimes on my blanket here, let me show you. Okay, I chained this blanket, remember? And I decided I didn't want it this many more stitches long. So I'm going to undo this. And my blanket is already quite long, but I didn't want to make it these extras. So do your chain as long as you think it is. And when you do your first row, if it's too long, just leave this hanging. And then just unchain it and tie it off. And that's what I think I would do with this. And then, because it says to do your shell, skip 2, and then double crochet in the next chain, skip 2, and do a shell. Now that's confusing when we, you know, say it out verbally like this. But I think it would make a wonderful blanket in any yarn that you want to use. Any yarn. Yeah. And then the next row, I think, is just all single crochets. But, you know, until you get in it and you read it, it's not going to mean anything. But I just thought the fact that the shell was 2 doubles chain 1, 2 doubles, and 1 stitch. Easy. Really easy. And I think it would make a great blanket in any kind of yarn that you want. Any kind of yarn that you might have in your stash already. You don't have to go buying it. I think it would be cool. Now here's another one. Now I'm sorry I didn't look this up. Maybe I'll look it up and I'll put a note on the video. But this is from Red Heart, or it doesn't actually say Yarnspirations, but I'm sure I can find the pattern and link it. Oh, here we go, a 16 ounce. That's what I wanted to know. So you use the Red Heart Super Saver Jumbo 16 ounce. Of course, you could use the Karen 1 pound. You could use whatever you want to use for this. But this calls for a 4-ply yarn, 1 16 ounce or 1 pound. It's called Crochet 1 Skein Throw. It's gorgeous, you guys. You probably can't see it that good, but let's see what it says. Okay, in 4-ply yarn, you chain 121. Okay, you can do that. Then you're using a K hook with number 4 yarn. So that means it's going to be flowy. Your Red Heart yarn, or whatever you choose to use, is not going to feel stiff. It's going to be more flowy because you're using a larger hook. Now, this doesn't break down. Oh, down at the bottom it does. It tells you that you're going to be doing a treble crochet. And you're going to be doing yarn overs. you're going to be, so there's 2 TR cluster is the main cluster in this. But I think this would be great. Just get a 16-ounce skein of yarn, or maybe, you know, 2 7-ounce skeins, whichever you have on hand, and make this blanket. You don't have to make it. What is the measurements? Oh, 35 by 42. You could make it 35 wide, you know, with your 121 chains. And then when you run out of whatever kind of yarn you got, if it's big enough for you, fine. But use a K hook and number 4 weight yarn. Okay, now here's some socks. I thought I would make these socks. These socks don't have a heel. Yay! Which really, if you think about it, it makes them one size fits all. Now this is a knitted pattern. So I'll show you the picture. You can't really tell too much about it because they're dark. But it's from Willow Yarns. And Willow Yarns is part of, I forget, you guys, you will know. Is it Premier? Willow Yarns? No, Premier is Universal Yarns. I don't know. You guys know. Anyway, here's it's called the Static Sock. And the pattern also came out Everyday Socks. So did I get a 2 for here? Looks like I got, I don't know. But I think this is a cool knitted pattern. Cast on 60, divide evenly between DPNs, but of course you don't have to use DPNs. You could do a set of 9 inchers. What size DPNs do they want you to use? A size 2. See, I don't do that. I use a size 6. And I cast on like 42 stitches. But you guys know I have sock patterns on my website or on my channel. Now this pattern here, if you remember, I've been making the hats with the loops going down. I have a tutorial on how to make that Ogo, the Ogo hat with the loops going up and down. This one is crochet. Yeah, this one's crochet. And it's done from the brim up. And this is good. This brim, you change 52 to form a ring. And you would just have to see if there was enough stitches to fit around your head, or whose ever head that you're going to do before you go up. Okay. So it's from the brim down. See, there it is here. So some of my hats, I think I do 60 stitches, and some hats it's 72. And in knitted, some hats I go 80. So whoever you're making this for, hopefully you could measure it on them. But this is another one of those hats where it goes, the loops from the previous row, you pull them up. Now, so I went through the patterns that I found I'm anxious to make, and my blanket and my scarf that I fell in love with, and you guys know the issue I was talking about. So give me some feedback. If you guys have any patterns that you're making that you might need a tutorial on, or that you want to share with me, hey, send it in the comments below. I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me get to 1,000 subscribers. Love you guys. Bye.